Georgia, it looks like those guys are believing in what Mike White is preaching. I mean, those guys play hard. They're crashing the boards. One of the best offensive rebound teams in the country. Like, offensively, they're not the most efficient. It doesn't always look good, but they play hard, and it looks like they believe.
Yeah, they do, man. You look at them, man, they had a man, the transfer portal can help you and hurt you at the same time. You got to be able to go out and get your guys that you need that fit your system that want to be there. Not people that are coming there to say, hey, man, I'm coming for the biggest bag, or all that's included, but coming to get my numbers. But to be able to go get the experience that you got. Silas Demery came back. He got experience last year. You brought Tyron Lawrence in from Vanderbilt. He was able to come in and give you some good minutes. But to be able to hit on a freshman like Asa Newell, who is pure dominance. Now, you got to think how serious he is. Also coupled with the big fella, Surreal down low, who does gorilla dunks and puts people in baskets anytime he can. He might at the end of the season be on the all boom boom room team, but we'll see. But Asa Newell is a guy, man, when you look at it, he played with Cooper Flagg. He should have been a McDonald's All-American. It was Cooper Flagg. It was Dominique Queen that's at Maryland, who is a walking double-double. But I guess you can only have two guys and there was another guard that made the All-American team. I think you can only have three guys in high school who make the All-American team, McDonald's. So he got snubbed. He should have been a McDonald's All-American. That's where his talent level is. I give you all that background to let you know, like, this is a real one and done. Grew up in Athens. You know what I mean? You got a homegrown kid. So he plays with that chip on his shoulder. And it took a minute for Mike White to get there. He had to go through it, get his feet wet, understand what he was getting, go through changes. Like, he went through roster changes over and over, coaches changes, but they finally been able to settle in and understand who they are. They could have put their head down after their first loss, but they came back at home, played against two top 25 opponents, got the win, and now they playing with house money. They're playing with house money. Going into Tennessee, they are playing with house money, and there's no pressure on them at all, knowing that they took care of home. If you take care of home in this league, and I think that's the main thing, you take care of home, and the rest is what it is. You let the chips fall where they may. You can steal two or three, you could.
Why do you think they've had trouble taking care of the basketball? I mean, you look at their turnovers per game, man, it's right there at almost 20 turnovers a game. I know you mentioned Tyron Lawrence coming over from Vanderbilt. He's a new piece, learning what Mike White wants to do in his system. Why do you think they're having trouble taking care of the ball?
Man, you got a lot of pieces, a lot of guys that have been parts on their team that have come in and used to handling the ball. So I think it's not necessarily they're trying to play fast. That's one, but at the same time, it's not necessarily having that one designated ball handler. So you get Asa Newell bringing it sometimes. Surreal might bring it off the rim. East Tennessee's own Blue Cane might get it and go every now and then. And then I think there's a lot of them trying to do a little bit more than probably they should at the time. But it's in the spirit of it is right, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you overpassing when you probably should have shot. Yeah. You know, trying to turn down a good shot to get a better shot. So that's a little bit of it, but I think it's made up for by their hustle on the other end and being able to get on the boards, and also getting to the free throw line. That's a big key for those guys. The turnover is going to happen. I'm sure if you talk to any coach in America, if you can keep it below 10 or 9, you got an opportunity to beat anyone, anywhere. So that's one of the things that can be an Achilles heel for them, especially going up against a Tennessee team that can turn you over and also score off those turnovers.
Tennessee will host Georgia on Wednesday night, a road trip to Vanderbilt on Saturday as well. We're discussing with Ron Slay on the SlayRide. Every week we take an hour-long SlayRide thanks to Native Design. Check out nativetn.com to see how they can help your outdoor space. The last couple weeks have gotten everybody ready for spring and summertime, getting ready for your outdoor pool season. See how they can help you build what you're looking for at Native Design. And we have the YouTube chat as well, so you can watch the SlayRide. Jackie hopped in and said, hey, Slay, wrong logo behind you, champ. So Ron's down at Auburn. Big game tonight, Auburn and Mississippi State. But also said he's in Johnson City watching ETSU Vol in the house. And then David said best player from the Jerry Green, Buzz Peterson era. Ron Slay.
Hey, there we go. Look at the love. Buzz Ball and Jerry's kids all combined in one right here with me.
Yeah. The blending of an era for sure.
That's right.
is one way we could describe
Yeah,
it.
and hey, man, and what y'all want me to do, man? Like they put me on the road. Y'all don't want me to go on the road. See, listen, Vol Nation, we can't be greedy. You know what I mean? We can't be greedy. Can't just have me all to yourselves. I'm gonna represent us. You know what I mean? I got it tattooed on me, so you always know, even when I'm in enemy territory, I'm still representing the Vols, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that Auburn has put you in a place where you got some good Wi-Fi and allowing you to join us and add value to our show. I'm okay with
Auburn's
Auburn
done
logo.
us a solid, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Auburn logo in the background until I figure out how to get rid of it.
Now, Swain, this is what you got to understand. I was out there on the court with Mississippi State doing their shoot around. I snuck in here, so I'm not even really supposed to be in here,
but
in this room that I have.
It's okay.
This is the quiet area. I'm sure if I went and told Bruce, who's about to do film with his team before they do shoot around, he would definitely put me up in a nice spot. But I didn't want to disturb him. He got some other things. He don't want to be bothered with Slay. He's been bothered with Slay for years. He don't want to be bothered with me no more. So I just said, I saw this little room over here, snuck in here. There's a nice little setup in here too. Check it. I got a little freezer beer in there for you and everything.
Oh yeah,
there,
you definitely ain't supposed to be in there. I can tell.
Be careful not to let any Auburn fans, boosters know that you're on with Jason Swain, Huntsville's finest, who
No, we good
he turned his back on Auburn years ago.
No, but I turned my back on Alabama too.
Okay.
So Auburn fans and we good.
There's a push.
We got to understand.
neutral.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, we good.
Okay.
I'm good with Auburn fans.
Good. Ron, we talked to you last week about how difficult the Florida game would be. That's a good team, really good team. I think they're proving to be. That game could have gone better for Tennessee. It was a 30-point defeat on the road in Gainesville. Tennessee then turned around and had to rally a bit in the second half to get what I think was a quality win against Texas. What do you think about how last week went? What do you take out of that Florida game and then out of the week as a whole?
Man, it went exactly how I thought it was going to go, out minus the 30-point drubbing that took place. But Tennessee's defense was up to par. It could have been a little bit better, but Florida's a really good team. That's why I said going into it, that was a game that worried me. I thought they would lose that game going into the O-Dome, knowing that Florida had just lost. And this is what you got to understand moving along through the season. We just talked about it and hit on it. You've got to take care of home. To lose a home game in this league, as competitive as it is almost like 2 losses. And vice versa, to go steal a win on the road, that's like 2 wins. You get an extra feather in your cap. But if you are to take care of your business, you got a great opportunity with the quality and the quad level of wins in this league to put yourself in a good position. If you were just to go 500, to be sure to make the tournament and get a good seed. So that's first and foremost, and people got to understand that throughout the season as it goes. But then you look at the game against Texas. Texas was a good bounce back game. You were more physical that game. You hit the boards that game. Trey Johnson was able to continue to get off because he is a silky smooth player. Knew he was coming into the matchup, but you didn't let everybody else get off, which was good. And then you had guys step up that you were lacking in that game in Florida. Like the front court was their problem going against Florida. They got 4 bigs that they can throw at you. All of them are skilled, all of them rangy, all of them athletic, all of them can put the ball in the hole. When you look vice versa that, you're able to get back to who you are if you get another person down low. You got Cade Phillips, Felix Okapara, and Millich. You lost Estrella. You need someone to fill that void, whether that be inside or outside. Darlin Stone Dubois answered the bell. That was humongous. That game right there hopefully catapults him into going more and more. It's almost like one of them dudes, man, he got into the Three Bears house and he tasted the porridge. Now I need him to go down the lane throughout the SEC and taste everybody porridge. Don't let them run you out of there. So, you know what I mean? Get comfortable. Don't care about them Bears coming in. There's going to be a lot of Bears and Tigers and Lions and all kind of stuff. But Darlin Stone Dubois, if he can keep stepping up and give us that other guy that can supplement what you lost with Estrella as far as that athleticism, they're hitting the boards, to be able to knock down that 3, that's a whole nother dimension. So you almost get a 2-for-1 because Cam Carr was going to be your shooter that you were going to need to ignite it. And then if you can be able to get them offensive boards that Estrella would have brought, you got something to work with, man. But it was a great showing down there, being resilient, being able to finish the game. Zakai, being at the form he is. I will say, the nation is taking notice to Zakai. But in order for him to make that team like we were talking about earlier, when conference season was about to start, and I'm talking about that team being an All-American team, you got to continue to stack wins. And you do it by the way you did, the impact you had late in the game, getting your guys involved and those guys helping you. So a gutsy win on the road, that's a 2-for-1. So you automatically make up for that loss that you had at Florida by winning on the road. Now, you come back home, take care of business.
I mean, what Zakai's doing right now is really impressive. I mean, he gets hurt, gets the wind knocked out of him in that game, sits on the bench for a little bit, comes back, plays better, shoots the ball better, more assists, more command of the offense, but he's shooting the ball at a worse clip this year than any other year during his career, 29%. What do you say about his impact on the game, even though he's not shooting the ball well?
Man, it's what we've grown to love. Him being able to get other guys involved and also understanding that, man, you got to continue to shoot. Don't let that waver in your confidence in your game. You know what I'm saying? Like you could easily use that as a crutch and be like, man, I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do. No, you're going to do something else. Do something else. You know you can still use that pump fake to get to the hole, get past people, get others involved, but also you need your guys to help you out. Like you need Gainey to make shots, you need Dubois to make shots, you need Chaz to make shots, Milicic, so forth and so on. Akapara, being able to get that lob. So it's just supplementing this game, Swain. As long as your impact doesn't fall off. You can go from averaging 20 to 14, but how do you correct everything else around it? Do you rebound more? Do you give us more opportunities by getting steals? You know what I mean? For more transition buckets? Do you go out there and get 50-50 balls? Like what do you help do? Do you keep penetration out the middle? There's got to be something else that you add to your game. And he's veteran enough to understand that, hey man, my shot ain't falling right now. It is still something I can do. There's no need to go in the dumps or anything. Like I can get to the foul line, knock my free throws down. Because one thing about it, shot making comes and goes. When it comes, it's something to behold, and that's another dimension that's added to what he's already been supplementing for that game, that piece of his game that's missing.
Yeah, how much is that a factor for Chaz Lanier with issues he had last week, both road games, that in addition to what opposing teams are doing to him to try to take away shot opportunities or force him into tough shots? I think he actually got some clean looks early there against Florida, but overall not a great week, and defenses are obviously watching Chaz Lanier.
You hit it on the head. This is his first taste of going on the road in the SEC. And listen, I love Chaz to death. I can tell him all I want to, what it's like. Josh, when you interview him, you can tell him. Swain, you can tell him. Coach Barnes can tell him. Zakai can tell him. Until you walk through it, you do not have any understanding how difficult it is to play on the road in the SEC. These fans are crazy. Just imagine, students ain't even all the way back in, and they still nuts in these arenas right now. So, and the game plan, you're going against not only the first five that you're going against, and then they sub in, maybe it's a drop-off. The person that's coming in behind them is a specialist too. Like, the depth in the league is it's not just because everybody got 5 starters that are really good. It's because everybody in the league goes 8 to 9 deep. So when that sub comes in, he know the same game plan, and he done heard about you all this time. He done heard about the NIL you did. He done heard about you being on All-American status. Like, you're the leading scorer in the league. You think I don't want to make a name off you? You got to be kidding me. You walk in my gym, man, I got it circled. It's on. I got to see you. And I'm hearing Coach Barnes telling you got to shoot every single time. On who? That's what I'm going to be saying. Oh, he going to shoot on who? So I'm taking it as a challenge. Everybody's competitive in this league, man. So you got to be ready. You got to be ready to go. That's why it's imperative when you get those looks, you don't pass them. You don't pass them. I think, and we talked about this early on, you and Swain. What's going to be the difference of him and DK? DK already understood, I'm shooting. Y'all figure Y'all figure it out. If this Diego Pavia rule could have been in effect with DK and say he would have came back and they still would have got Chaz, you know who would have had to adapt? Chaz. It wouldn't have been DK. DK would have still been him. Cold-blooded killer. That's what they trying to tell Chaz. And to pull back the curtain a little bit, this is what we've had to tell Chaz all his life. Even in high school, he had the green light in high school. Chaz, you got to shoot the ball. You're a good guy, a good-spirited guy. We don't need you to be that. We need you to be a cold-hearted, put your ski mask on killer. You understand when you step on this court. In them white lines, you don't need to create. Zakai do that. The reason we need you to shoot, because that's your creation. Because when you come off a down screen, now two people are hopping out on you. That's just like beating somebody off the dribble. You just created a mismatch for somebody that got to rotate, and that person that set the screen to slip and get an open dunk. Now communication breaks down, all because you came off and shot the ball, whether you make or miss. You got to get that in his mind, and he's gonna be just fine. It's a curve. It's a curve to it. It's a curve for everybody. You look at all these freshmen that are dominating. The reason they get in the SEC play, and they have those ups and downs. Trey Johnson was struggling before this game. Jeremiah Fields at Oklahoma is a dog. He was struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go down the list of guys that were struggling because they haven't seen it when they jump on the road. Boogie Flan is an incredible player. Man, but he go on the road, and it's a little bit different. So if you've never seen it, it takes time to kind of get your feet wet. It's good he can get back home. I expect him to go back off against Georgia. Their wings are also different. You know what I'm saying? You're not going against some of those athletic, longy, same rangy wings that you've been going against. So, like Florida, you look at Florida guards, man. You got Elijah Martin, he big. Will Richards, he big. Walter Clayton, the point guard. That man, Swain, wasn't he? What was
football.
He in football? Like,
football.
You got a football and a basketball player in one.
Yeah, so he tough as nails.
So, yes. I mean, it's a difference, man. You just got to get adapted to it, and he'll adapt. He'll adapt because one thing for sure, they got their focus on the goal, and for them to get there, they need everybody involved. It's not going to be able to be one man. It's not going to be Zakai carrying them. It's not going to be Chaz carrying them. It's going to be everybody doing what they're supposed to do. That's how they're built. It's a little bit different. So they'll be fine, man. But you just got to realize his teammates will carry them on.
So at the end of last segment, we talked to Ron Slay each week thanks to Native Design, nativetn.com. You brought up the Chaz Lanier play at the start of the second half, which Rick Barnes talked about at the end of his press conference after the Texas win.
Yeah, 100%. Got a looks like what they call it, a double screen. Ron, what they call that? And he had an opportunity to shoot it, but instead tried to throw it back to Meshack across the court, and the ball's out of bounds. Meshack was open, but Igor was closer and open. And I was wondering, with two guys on Chaz in that particular set, should Chaz have shot it or passed it to Igor? And to me, it looked like Chaz didn't have a shot. I want to get your opinion on, do you think Chaz should have shot it or just passed it to Igor without, getting in trouble from Rick Barnes?
Yeah, I think when you look at the play, I think it was for one, it was coming out of halftime. So this was the play that was drawn up. Two, the decision making on the play. Was he open? No. But when you're a shooter like that and have the ultimate green light, you're kind of like what we talked about before going into this, you create for others by taking that shot. So you coming off the screen automatically brought two to you. Now, Igor is next to you. Meshack is all the way over on the left wing by the bench. The turnover is what I think was the worst thing that could happen. The decision-making has to be better. If he would have pocket passed it or kicked it back to Igor, I think it would have been different because it was still 30 seconds on the shot clock. So with that being said, you move ahead and you got to have the right decision-making. Also, if that ball goes up, Igor has a line to go rebound. Zakai can get back, and Meshack, whose man is in the paint, has an opportunity to go and rebound, offensive rebound. So you put them at a disadvantage. You, in a sense, had four guarding two in that whole scheme. But that's kind of like what I was saying with Dalton Connect. That would have been one of those where you said with Dalton when he raised up and shot it, like DK, why you shooting that? Oh, okay. I see why you shooting it. Imagine like what he did at North Carolina. Like some of them shots were kind of bad shots, but they put us in good position if they go in or if they don't to have offensive rebounding balance, which is something you're going to have to need with a guy like Meshack who's not confident in shooting the ball right now. So like what you said was Zakai's not making this shot. So what do you do to supplement that? If you're Meshack, you're not willing to shoot the shot right now because of your confidence, of your injury, but you can crash the boards. That's one thing that you do. That aggressive style, you crash the boards, get in there, keep the plays alive for somebody else, and then you automatically put them in a scramble. The best time to get a three-pointer is on offensive rebound. So put them at a disadvantage. I think that was part of it. And if he don't turn it over and he passes somebody else, everything else will be fine. That was the biggest problem with that.
The game within the game is the message from Rick Barnes.
The game within the game. That's right.
Ron, what are we going to do with teams sagging off on Meshack? I mean, it's starting to become really, really noticeable to the point where, I mean, the guys are not even 3 feet within Meshack, worrying about him shooting outside shots. How is that going to affect the offense, and what is Rick Barnes going to do about it?
Now, Swain, I'll take it a step further. You know, when you used to go on the little camping trips and you had to bring the little sleeping bag, that's what they got. His defender got the sleeping bag, sleeping in the lane, guarding Felix Akaparo or somebody else, you know what I mean, during that time. So, and then he ain't even waking up to go check him out after he get the ball. They just sitting there looking, pointing. Like, he got the ball. Everybody know what we're supposed to be. So, you got to take it upon yourself. Like, it's other things that you can do, man. Like, drive hard to the basket, man, and go take, you super athletic. Go take off and try to bang on somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? But I would say, too, man, and I'm sure he is, as much as possible, getting up shots. You got to go get that confidence back, man. You got to shoot. I understand that injury, it may take time to heal, but if you're going to play with it, you got to play. You know what I mean? Figure it out. We saw this with Riley Cougar from Mississippi State. He dislocated his finger in the game, this last game versus Kentucky, and he's still out there trying to figure out a way, you know what I mean, to, now granted this is offhand, but he's trying to figure out a way how to keep it going, you know what I mean, be able to still be a threat. And it's difficult, man, when you're on the floor and you're not that threat, because they need him on the floor. He's a glue guy. Defensively, what he brings to the game, you can't sub that in. You can't find that anywhere else. So you need him on the court. But with that being said, you can't be a liability on offense. So just taking the shot, maybe, hey, take 2 dribbles. They're not closing out. So you got the opportunity to take 2 dribbles in and take a little 12-footer. What I'll be working on that little push shot floater. Says that's the way y'all gonna play me? Okay, I'm gonna take these 2 dribbles in, come to a jump stop, straight up and down, one-hand floater. Or get a good angle. Man, I'm gonna work on 50 kisses off the glass before and after practice. You know what I mean? At each angle, you got to get something, you know what I'm saying, to make them be able to come out and defend you. We got to play 5-on-5.
Yep.
We can't play 5-on-4.
Yep.
That's not conducive to us winning.
Ron Slay with us each week on the SlayRide, this week from Auburn, getting ready for a big game against Mississippi State. And Ron, big injury this past weekend. Hated to see what happened, how it happened with Johni Broome. What's the latest you've been able to gather there so far? What's the effect on Auburn's basketball team with the player of the year favorite, both in the conference and nationally, going down for however long he'll be out?
Yeah, they're taking it day by day. It's going to be one of those ankle injuries, man. How much can you manage to keep the swelling down, be able to get back to full strength? And I think that's the thing for him. This isn't a situation where he needs to come back the way he plays the game. He needs to come back 75, 80%. Like, he needs to come back healthy. But at the same time, it has to be an urgency about getting back, because we were just talking about off air how deep the league is and how good each team is going to get week to week. The grooves that they find and other people emerging, like, you don't want to get left behind or kind of feel like you're even. And then when he comes back, everybody's trying to make up ground, you know? So it's going to be imperative that he gets back. But with the MRI showing that it's not true, something that will keep him out for the rest of the season, I think he'll be fine. They got a great staff down here. I'll be able to see them here shortly for shoot around and be able to communicate and see just where they are. But they got other guys that can fill in. Chaney Johnson is a guy that you probably got to watch, man. 6'9", 6'10" guy. that can get off the floor, play with a lot of athleticism, and is confident in his game as the season goes along. Dylan Caldwell will be asked to do a little bit more as far as being in pick and roll action, diving to the rim, being able to finish down there, stand out of foul trouble, carrying that load, and then somebody have to slide down to the floor. I'm sure Coach Pearl is a person that can adapt to any given situation when you look over his resume, whether it be thinking back at George Mason all the way to Tennessee, when he used to play with guys like Dane at the four. Like this isn't anything foreign, and I say Dane because of the size. When you got somebody 6'2" playing the four spot, Tyler Smith on the ball, like you may see them go out and press a little bit more so he can get more of a rotation with his guards getting in, and you haven't been able to see that. So that's a whole different dynamic that the league would have to get ready for, and it's going to be interesting to see him tinker with it and adapt. I don't think it's necessarily other guys. I do think it's guys that need to step up for them, but at the same time, Coach Pearl and them have to adapt their situation. And I think you change the scheme more so than thinking somebody is going to fill the void that Johni has been able to leave for them.
With Johni getting hurt, who do you think is the team to beat right now in the SEC or has the chance to take over the SEC?
Alabama. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You talk about the depth with Big Cliff, Memori down low, Grant Nelson being able to play at the four. It's almost similar to what Auburn has, is playing two traditional bigs, with Johni being able to step out and be a problem at the four. Same thing for Grant Nelson for Alabama. And then if they have a mismatch, they have no problem with saying, okay, I got somebody small on me, I'll go inside to the block. And you put the 5-man on the opposite side in that dunker spot, whether that be Dylan Cardwell for Auburn or Cliff Memori for Alabama, and you get the same result. And then the guard depth. You got Phylon, Darren Reed, Aiden Holloway, who's come in. You got these guys, Chris Youngblood, who at South Carolina was getting his feet back wet. Then when you go to A&M and you start to get that rolling, like it's like, okay, we got something going. He's back. He had 14 points last game. He was phenomenal at South Florida when they played. Was it South Florida or UCF? I think it was South Florida. But where Abdul Rahim passed away. But he was with him last year, all-around guy that can do it all. You add that to the mix. And this is all being said without a guy like Mark Sears, who, when you say fill it up, good gosh, he's filling it up. So, man, the potency that they have to come off the bench with is pretty dangerous. And it's fun to watch. So I would say Alabama, honestly. You look at top to bottom, especially being healthy.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's not the finish that Swain wanted to this hour's. You're right in your take. You're right in your take. He just doesn't want to hear anything good about Alabama.
No, so guess what? I mean, you look at it like we know who the usual suspects are. It's Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida now, who's entered the conversation. With Kentucky, they just pulled up into the driveway too to see what we're doing in the little party inside. So you're gonna have a house full. It's just who's calling dibs on the couch in the living room. That's what it is, to see who's gonna be sitting there when you walk in. You don't know who it could be. Somebody can be out back waiting on the seat. Somebody get up and lose their seat. So man, it's too full. I'm gonna be honest. It is too full. Mississippi State is my sleeper. You know what I mean? And that ain't even taking nothing away. We ain't even mentioned Texas A&M. They've been playing without Wade Taylor. Zerick Phelps has emerged like, dude, this is real life, like it was when we were in school, Swain. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had the opportunity in the early 90s, you know, when Kentucky was on their run. Arkansas would come in and have a run. Auburn would come in and have a run. Who else? You had teams throughout the league. Ole Miss even had a run. Like, you had teams throughout the league that were going to have blips. But when you got to the late 90s, early 2000s, you look from top to bottom, there was no nights off, man. Ole Miss could win the league. Mississippi State could win the league. Alabama could win the league. Florida could win. Like, all of these people won the league. You know what I'm saying? Even South Carolina, who was semi an afterthought, was still competing. So, man, it's the depth is crazy, man. Vanderbilt, like, it's too much, man. I'm going to be real. It's fun night in and night out. There are no bad games. You got 2 0-3 teams in Texas and Oklahoma that's going to play. 2 weeks ago, Oklahoma was ranked damn near in the top 10. You know, like it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
5-game slate tonight, Auburn, Mississippi State. Hear Ron Slay there. You see him on the SEC Network. He's on 3HL in the afternoons. We got this text from Tracy out the door for you, Ron. Always so proud of Ron Slay and Dane Bradshaw on the SEC Network. Slay definitely wins best dressed.
That's what I'm talking about. See, you hear that, Dane? Dane, you hear that? You hear that? And I'm going to give you, see, Dane, when I came into it, he gave me some little tidbits, though. So he gave me a lot of nuggets. So I love Dane. You know, that's my guy. Came on an official visit with me, this, that, and the other. But I'm just telling you, Dane, while you doing them games, better check it out. I'm going to get it. It's the pocket square. The pocket square and the headband. Dane, get you a pocket square and a headband, dog. You want to be, Tracy, tell him again. You want to be up here on this level? You want to be on this level with me? I know you with TV Tom Hard and all that, but you want to be on this level? Then get you a pocket square and a headband. Hey, you hear me? Hey,
well, Tom Hart could have told Dane that too, but Tom doesn't want to get one-upped. You know that's going on.
No, Tom protective. Tom is protective of this spot, boy. I'm telling you now.
Ron Slay on the SEC Network, 3HL, SEC and Tennessee basketball legend, and every week he joins us thanks to Native Design. Check out their website, nativetn.com, your local custom pool and hardscape specialist. Look forward to seeing and hearing you on the call, Ron. We appreciate the time as always. Safe travels, and we'll have a lot to talk about again next week when you join us.
No doubt, man. Don't y'all worry about that, man. It's go Vols, baby. Y'all know it's go Vols.
Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
I'm going to burn this. Swain, I'm going to burn this sign. At the end of the game, I'm going to burn it.
No, you're not. Don't do that.
I'm not.
Don't do that.
Don't lie, but it's always go Vols from Ron Slay. There's never any doubt about that.
Peace out.